Okay, so here we go. For all of you who just jumped in, I've been streaming a lot today, mainly tournament matches, a little bit of my own, 1v1 or 2-on-2 games. What we have here is another tournament match, that is the PK Clan tournament, first TAD tournament with a very big prize pool, over $2,000 in prize money possibly to win. We are still in the group stage, which will end tomorrow. So a lot of matches still being played last minute. We have now LordRaphael here as British in red, and he will be playing against Umeu as Ottoman in blue. As you all know by now, I will also take a look at the map to see if it's fair. Gold mines seem one in the back, one not too far for British, so that's okay, and he has two in the back, which is indeed a little bit weird, but at least they are in the back. You always want to have one like in this area to your town center preferably, but yeah, it's random map, so you never know what happens.
User left your channel.
I should fix this sound later on. Anyway, the herds seem to be fair. Both have one hunt easily herdable towards the town center, and here we see that in fact LordRaphael, I'm not sure if he only scouted this one, but he's already bringing in this one. Of course, building here the manor provides a good line of sight. Any rush coming from the center of any base being built here, he can spot. And even bringing in this herd as well, so he's really trying to get in every herd as soon as possible. This was actually the herd that was for both of them. I think it started
User
over
disconnected
here.
from your channel.
So that means it was the hunt for Fart and for LordRaphael, but now LordRaphael took it. That means that, I'm not sure, sorry, not Fart, Umeu. Umeu only has this one left, and later on this and this one. But it's Ottoman, so he usually has enough with the crates and this one for a long time. What we also see is, of course, Ottomans taking a trading post. He spawns on top, that means he will just go for the top trading post, no need to rush for this one. Only if you're on bottom you need that for the XP. Then we have Umeu discovering AD wood. Just discovering it, of course picking it up as well. I believe that he gathered a little bit of wood from the trees, and now he is able to immediately build a second trading post, and that's a very strong start. Usually you are not able to do this that early, or at least not, because otherwise you would be slowed down a little bit because you have to gather some wood and not food. But because of the treasure, very well adapting here, of course, making the trading post, and so you can benefit from it right away. Right away is a little bit later, by the way, as the trading card just stopped by and he missed that one. But anyway, for the next one he will get it earlier than he would normally have a second trading post up. So we see that LordRaphael is still bringing this hunt. That is really, really early, by the way. As I talked about before in another video, you always want to bring in your herds relatively early, but you have to keep in mind that if you send your villagers out early, it will also delay your age up. In that case, it might sometimes be better to just herd in one, bring in one hunt, and the other one you can bring it in later, like when you're aging up. That way, especially versus rush civilizations, civilizations that age up fast, like Ottomans and Iroquois, you would not age too late and have your units out too late. Anyway, he will have a lot of food, as you see, so that's very nice for British. I'm not sure if there's a wall coming up. It is Ottoman, so they could Janissary rush you, but after all, LordRaphael, I believe he prefers not to make walls, which is very good in my opinion. At least for a tournament you might make walls, but as you all know, I don't like walls that much. Anyway, a brief introduction for the players. Umeu you all probably have seen before in the classic tournaments on Age of Empires Nilla version. Very good one-on-one player. I'm interesting to see how he will do in this TAD tournament, because he was mainly Ottoman player, and Spain, I believe, in the classic version. But he is now also mastering his Iroquois, which is of course a very strong civilization for this tournament. And then on the other side we had LordRaphael. He's also probably very known to a lot of you. He was a very good player. He's a little bit rusty perhaps, because he hasn't been playing a lot of Age of Empires. But he was very, very strong back in the day, so I believe he is still playing some StarCraft 2, so he's not like totally out of track. Anyway, what we have here is no market start for British, but instead going for the 500 foot age up and starting with both a stable and a Rex early on. We haven't seen this a lot. I do like this strategy, especially versus Ottomans, because you're right away capable of making a lot of units to defend a rush, and also you can pressure a little bit based on what you see him doing. LordRaphael hasn't scouted him yet. He knows that there are 2 trading posts. He scouted the tower. He knows it's tower age up. Okay, that is a tower age up, and that means a tower with 200 coin. It is placed over here, like to protect his trading post from easily being taken out by some musketeers. That means that, of course, Umeu is like... What is happening over here? A lot of idle villages. Maybe a mistake. That means that Umeu is likely to go for a fast fortress. 700 coin will be his next card, if he hasn't shipped it already. While I was talking, indeed he has. There's 700 coin, so he will go for a fast fortress. And then we might have some Janissary and cannon pressure. Meanwhile, of course, LordRaphael scouted this trading post with the tower, so he knows it's not worth going there now. Instead, he's going straight forward to the town center. 700 wood being shipped, by the way. That's always often being used to make directs, some houses, and upgrade the trading post, since he has 2 especially. We see 3 villagers moving over here. He might be trying to hide something. For example, the Rex or whatever he's gonna build, or it's just a mistake. I'm not sure. Anyway, we see LordRaphael coming in for a little bit of a raid. He shipped 700 coin after his as a first card, I believe. The villagers are now hiding in a tower, by the way. That means that there are 3 idle villagers. That's of course something you never want to have happening. Still no market. There's 700 wood. He's probably going to make some houses now to get up some more economy, of course. We get a free villager with every house as British. And he's likely to add a market as well. You see how many hunts he brought in. This is very nice. Very good setup for later on. There you have some houses. The villagers escaped right on time. I think LordRaphael missed it. But anyway, that's good for Umeu, because he can still gather something now. He's going to lose the tower and his hero as well. We see that he shipped 5 Janissaries, now making the Rex. He should be aging. Maybe his hunt back hurt, I'm not sure, or mistakenly shot it away. Anyway, he felt the need to ship 5 Janissaries to be able to hold on versus these raids. He aged with the 4 Hussars. You can always choose to age with 4 Hussar or 5 Abbas guns, or 4 Abbas guns, not sure actually. 4 I think. If your opponent has a lot of musketeers and no stable, obviously you want to go for the hussars, for the Abbas guns. But in this case, he knows that LordRaphael has not that many units out, and I think hussars is a good choice. Also because you can wait with them afterwards. Very nice micro going on. What he's trying to do here is slowing down the musketeers with his hussars. But as soon as the musketeers will attack the hussars or go in melee mode, like you saw here for a second, he will pull them back, and all the time the Janissaries in the back are still shooting at them and doing damage. Very nice micro by both in this little fight here. Both players are capable of microing very well, so that's always nice to see in these kind of games. We see that LordRaphael brought in some more units, and now he has the upper hand, so that means Umeu has to run, which is going to be actually the same, but then vice versa. He's going to try to put his Janissaries in melee mode, but not too long, because if you do it too long, the hussars will run back. And as you might have remembered from me explaining in a micro tutorial or somewhere else, if you put them in melee mode like this, you don't want to do that for too long, because the hussars will just run, and that means that you will not do any damage. If you put 1 or 2 in melee mode, or just melee mode when the cavalry is close at you, you will overall often do more damage. That's actually what you saw LordRaphael doing here in the start. You have to be very quick with it, of course, to keep changing from melee mode to ranged mode if you try to go for that. Very nice little skirmish going on here, back and forth, as you see, when both players are bringing in new units. And as well, they are trying to target the low HP ones. For example, you see this Janissary now targeted down by LordRaphael. You can use your Alt key, which is what I'm doing now, and you can also do that in your game. And then you can know which unit you should target first, in order to, of course, decrease the total output damage of your opponent. One musketeer, very brave one here, thinks he's gonna own the army alone, but of course that's not the case. Being brought back now to a safer place. He made 5 longbowmen, I believe. 2, 4, 5, probably made it. To have some more defense. What we see here is a Janissary shipment, and of course he made some more Janissaries on the go. That means that we will likely have after this the 2 cannon shipment. There we are. And the first real strong push coming in. Of course, LordRaphael still booming a little bit with his houses. I think he also shipped the 700 wood, not sure about that. First, I take a look at his deck of the Umeu unit is. Pretty standard for Otto, so 8 Janissaries has been shipped, 2 cannons as well, so later on we can expect the 1k coin and the Mamelukes. Did he also... Yeah, he does have Spahi, as you may have remembered from the previous game. Izzo didn't have any Spahi. I always like Spahi, but of course also a matter of personal preference. A little bit sloppy here with losing the villagers. At least he rescues the rest. No villager HP yet, by the way. He is sieging a house, and that is a very interesting option. I don't think a British player is housed at this moment, so I would rather go for a Rex or a market. He probably doesn't want to be in range of the town center, because of course if he is in range, which is like on this edge somewhere here, the town center can shoot with 90 damage, which means 90 times 0.25, in fact, real output damage on the cannon. You don't want to have that, you want to have your cannons live as long as possible, so if you can take out this Rex, it should in my opinion have been placed somewhere over here.
User joined your channel.
If you can take out this Rex, you will have an easy small victory over there, because you don't take any damage.
Blah 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 blah.
Channel switched.
So what we see now is he put his Janissaries in the defend mode, because he might be scared that there's some cavalry coming around. We see that the cavalry is indeed coming around here, and he's gonna move back right on time, putting some Janissaries in melee mode to now do optimal damage for his cavalry, while the cannons are shooting all the infantry. Meanwhile, we see that LordRaphael popped his Minutemen because he needed some more army, of course. And this is actually a battle that is going to be won by LordRaphael using his villagers actually to kill the cannons. All very nice to see. No villager HP yet, I would have liked to see it, but at least he gets the cannon down. No town center fire, but Longman alone here in the back will be enough to hold off these Janissaries. He changed the Longman to stagger mode, as you saw in the end, quite late, but still fun. So now that means that we have to wait for Umeu what his next push will gonna be. It is very hard, because the way the strategy works is that you kind of guess, hope, or however you want to say it, that your Janissary cannon push will do a lot of damage. In this case, one market, maybe the house and one Rex is, in my opinion, not enough damage done. So the advantage would probably go to LordRaphael at this point. However,
user joined your channel.
He also, of course, has the option to still ship the Mamelukes. He has Abyss Guns card, and he can, of course, go for an additional artillery foundry to produce more Abyss Guns, or maybe a stable for Hussars, since he's only making Longbowmen. But if you would go for example, a more colonial agenda start, like Abyss Guns and Hussars, or Abyss Guns and Janissaries, you already have a better setup ready when you age up, and are just easier to produce those units afterwards. Anyway, we still have the Mamelukes, which is always going to be a hard card to deal with for your opponent. LordRaphael did scout it, so he should be making some musketeers or pikemen, or more Hussars to block it, but preferably musketeers. There we go. He was probably already doing it, since it's like 99% sure that the Ottomans is going to send the Mamelukes card after the cannons, especially if you have so many longbowmen. Any damage he can get off now is of course always good, because it means it's easy to deal with it army later. This is very hard push still. He should use his town center fire, I think, and he has to use some villages as well if he wants to come out decent at this battle. You see the musketeers are in melee mode, trying to be focused on the Mamelukes, but as you see here, they're running around a lot, and if they would be in range mode, they would do more damage. However, now they got hold of a Mameluke, and that means they deal damage pretty fast. Some pikemen being added as well. A very nice micro going on, as you see that he's using some villages in front here to absorb some damage from the Janissaries, so it means that his other units, Minutemen and Longermen, are living longer and they can thus do more damage because they deal more damage as well. He was set up in this position, so it was hard for the Ottomans units to push in. You saw that a lot of these Mamelukes were running around from here over here because they really couldn't get to the path to Longman quickly. This Hussar should be actually targeting the Mamelukes, not the Janissaries. And these musketeers will now probably be put in melee mode, as you see over there. You have to keep in mind there's a lot of micro going on here. You have to click a lot, and there can also be some misclicks. The town center should be aimed at the Mamelukes, and that's the game over there. Interesting. I expected it to be a little bit. That would be a little bit longer. I think that actually, if he tried to move over in this position.
User joined your channel.
Could have more musketeers in front, musketeers and pikemen over here, and as well as a hussar over here, which means that he would be able to probably block it better, because now there were still 2 Mamelukes coming from this side, 2 Mamelukes from this side, which were able to go close to Longbowmen's. If he would be over here, it would be easier. But then again, he did use his villages very well, and microed very well as well. I would have liked to see some earlier villagers in his town center. For example, these are not that useful at the moment. You can better help them block the other units. Because if you hold this push, that's actually the main thing what I was trying to say before. If you hold this push as British without taking too much damage, keep in mind, for example, that the villager count over here dropped a lot because he was holding it with his villagers. But if you just have, like, let's say 10 villagers more, this is too close, but 10 villages more, you are still okay-ish to deal with the rest, because he already used the worst cards for you, which are Mamelukes and 2 cannons. Anyway, the positioning, like I said, and a town center fire, that are 2 things. Also, in this first battle, he did very well, but also lost some villagers already, which was not really needed, I think. At least not that many. But of course it's very hard to keep microing that. But the other main thing is that he might have made a few too many longbowmen. This is of course very, very hard to balance, because you train them often in batches of 5. You don't want to make like 3 and then skip the rest, because you are training them anyway. You're wasting time on training. I think with a few more musketeers he might have been better able to hold the first. Not the first, sorry. It was good that he made longbowmen for this one, but might have been better able to hold this push over here. But anyway, it was very hard. It was good micro of both of them. We see that he decided to go for no market at all in the end. Oh wait, no, sorry, he did make a market. I'm curious to see how much he upgraded effect. He did make a market, probably for hunting nugs and placer mines, but I'm not sure how much he upgraded in the end. Anyway, this is still always hard for British. The fast fortress with 2 trading posts, with the cannons, with the Mamelukes. Very close game. If he held this a little bit better, he would have been able to hold it out longer and maybe even win it in the end. We also see, by the way, that he's now making his artillery foundry to get a better setup for the longer game, because he was probably also thinking himself that this push might not be the game-ending push. Anyway, a good game. I'm out. I believe that there are some more other games coming up shortly.